Hi, folks, and welcome into another edition of This Week in Pearl. I'm your host, Frank Hutton, and I'm excited to bring you today's show as we go under the dome with our special guest, Representative Gene Newman and Senator Dean Kirby. We're going to talk about everything they did during this legislative session, kind of what got passed and what didn't. Some things that didn't actually make it, didn't get through this year. I'm going to tell you that it's a lot of bills that got introduced this year, as well as just how few actually made it through. So don't run off. When we come back, we're going to go straight under the dome. We'll be right back.
Here in Pearl, we have Trustmark Park. It seats 8,500 people. It's a great venue that we have here locally. You can catch a baseball game. We have a new team, the Mississippi Mud Monsters, so we're so excited about that. And Trustmark Park, the stadium's been fully renovated. Adjacent to that, we have Bass Pro Shop, as well as the Mississippi outlets that people can come shop and enjoy and have a great time. So it's a good place to come. It's a destination spot for our city. We did a $12 million renovation to our Parks and Rec several years ago, and what we were missing was another key area for our children to come and just be able to hang out and have fun, but also have some playground equipment that was really cutting edge. I've always thought if you can get your community together, then you can have a stronger sense of community. And I think that's what Main Street brings to the table for us. And even though we're a post-World War II city and our architectural doesn't signify a downtown, we're trying to have an area that we create that people can come together and have a sense of community.
Hi, folks, and welcome back into this edition of This Week in Pearl, where we are going under the dome one more time with our esteemed guest, Representative Gene Newman and Senate Pro Temp Dean Kirby. Welcome in, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The session is, for all intents and purposes, done.
Maybe.
Maybe.
We'll know Wednesday.
We'll know by the time this is released. We will know. But for the most part, unless the governor decides that y'all need to cover something else, you're done.
We hope.
We hope.
Yes.
We get some rest yet? Did y'all get some sleep?
Not enough.
Did you catch up?
It's going to take a few weeks to catch up.
I still can't find my desk, so.
It's just covered with stuff. Y'all had a lot going on. Last time we met, y'all were reading through a lot of bills that were basically in committee, trying to get things worked out. Y'all did get some stuff worked out. A lot of stuff died. I think I did the numbers, so I'm going to tell everybody right here. 4,006 actual bills introduced this legislative term. 4,006, that's insane. Out of those 4,006, 189 actually will make it to the governor's desk. That's a 5% pass rate.
So did you look at the ones that are already approved by the governor, or that?
No, that's total.
Okay, because
That's not accounting appropriations.
there's still a whole bunch of them that's coming back today.
Yeah.
Right, no, that's just,
He's either got to sign them.
that's all the ones that
Let
go to
them
the
be law
governor,
or
to go to the desk
veto
or
them.
have been signed.
That's why we're tired.
Yeah.
Right, he's either got to go ahead and approve them, or what happened. If he doesn't approve them today, it's basically a pocket veto, right?
So no,
No.
if he either passes them, signs them.
Mm-hmm.
If he does not sign them and he just leaves them laying on his desk, they become law after 5 days.
That's right.
Okay, yes.
Or he vetoes them. That's the three choices.
Oh, you could line item.
And
right?
if he
Now,
vetoes,
that's line item's a whole different story, but and that's not every bill. That's just certain things.
Certain things, right.
and if he vetoes, both chambers have to have 3/5,
Two-thirds.
Two-thirds, yeah.
Right.
2/3 vote to override the veto. So it's not an easy thing to do to override a veto.
No. it
But
would-
I mean,
right.
we had some bills where it was 122 to nothing, and I mean, a lot of bills, 122 to nothing, or 120 to 2, or 50 to 2, or 52 to nothing in the Senate. So it would almost be dumb to veto those bills.
Why? Well,
because-
you've got a mass majority.
But he's vetoed some that we both passed unanimously, but we didn't do anything with them
Yeah.
because the reason he gave for vetoing them kind of made sense. So we just let it go.
Yeah.
We'll just let it go, right? We'll
Do
readdress
it
it.
again. We'll do it again next year.
We'll do it again next year. Well, all right. No, so let's just jump to the state fiscal appropriation for fiscal year 2027, as we have talked about it a bunch on this program. 7.36 billion is what you guys settled on. That's a 165 million increase for Medicaid. Now let's talk about that in just a little bit, because we beat that horse on this show about Medicaid for the last couple of years. We've talked about this. They came in asking for $380
million.
right.
That's right.
Extra.
After we already gave them $35 million to cover the shortfall from last year,
Yeah, we'd already, yeah.
and we'd increased it $100 million
the year before that.
No, that we increased it to $100 million for the last year's budget that we had
Last
the
year's
$35
budget,
million.
and they still needed 35 million more
More.
for last year, so we gave it to them for
They can
last
spend
year.
money over there.
Right.
Yeah.
What's driving it? Now, before I say that, their total budget is what, $9 billion total?
Something like that.
Something like that. Now, majority, 75% of that comes from federal government. What's driving these massive cost increases?
Healthcare, doctors, healthcare.
And did you mention
doctors.
healthcare?
And by the way, you also got to include nursing homes in there because
That's a big part of it.
A lot of Medicaid goes for nursing homes, taking care of grandma and grandpa in the nursing homes, and it's all very expensive.
While we're on that subject, it has nothing to do with what you're about to talk, but nursing home, VA nursing home money has been approved.
Okay.
We're building a new VA nursing home on Airport Road, just past Allen Stewart Drive on the opposite side of the street.
Really?
Yeah, on
By the
east side.
Big lake.
Yeah.
By the lake. That's going to be a beautiful, beautiful nursing home.
A new VA nursing home.
Yes,
Are
we've
we
been
gonna
working
close
on
the
it for
one out
years.
here on 220?
That's right.
The
What's
one that's at the old air base, I call it. That particular one has bullet holes in it and everything else. They're having a lot of problems out there, and
Sure.
because of that, several years ago, like 2012, we actually passed a bill to build a new one, and we put our name in the hat, and we just now got to federal money. So construction probably will start within 6 months.
14 years later?
Yeah.
Welcome to the legislative process.
Kind of like our road out here, and it took 30 years.
Well, oh yeah, right.
But I want,
the
but
Dean
that-
Kirby Parkway.
but that is, but I wanted to bring it up because it's such good news, and it's one of those good news things that you never hear about.
Right.
But it's going to mean so much to the families.
And when are they going to start, do you think?
I think within 6 months they'll be starting.
They'll actually start breaking ground.
Yes.
We hope.
We hope.
Yeah.
Well, fantastic.
So I wanted to throw that in before I forgot about it, because that, to me, we can't do enough for our veterans,
No.
and that's,
You know who'd be real happy about that?
yeah, well, everyone's happy. Yeah.
Ray Rogers. He'd be real happy about that.
Probably would.
He-
Yeah, because he was chairman of military affairs for a while.
Correct. And he listed that one of his biggest accomplishments. I asked him one time, and he said the veterans retirement homes across the state was one of the things that
It definitely is.
He did. He would be real happy to know that it's not only moving and they're getting a new one, but it's coming to Pearl.
Well, just to get it passed in the legislature, state legislature, was not easy,
Right.
because Jackson did not want to give up. They don't want to give up anything.
They don't want to give up anything, obviously, right?
Yeah.
All right. Well, good. Some good news. See, you learned something today. All right. So, out of that 165 million increase, and we're saying that y'all are totaling $1.17 billion for the division of Medicaid. That's
It's our second largest expense, only behind education.
education's first, and then Medicaid.
Medicaid.
And it's doctors, medical
It's medical-
facilities,
it's healthcare.
and it's healthcare in general.
Yeah, and the one big beautiful bill
Didn't help anything.
didn't help us.
On that side of it, because they're scaling that back,
They're
right?
scaling it back, and it means we got to come forward.
And I know there's
Had we passed Medicaid expansion,
oh my gosh.
we'd be broke right now. Like more than half the states are.
I don't have it in front of me, and you may not, and it's just a question that comes to mind. What did our LBO come back if we had passed Medicaid expansion? Do you remember what that would have looked like? What did they say? Do you remember? I'm just curious.
That's too far
I'm
back.
thinking $2 billion, but I may be wrong.
Okay, but it was a big number.
Yeah.
You just don't remember quite what. I'm asking off the top of their head.
Yeah.
This was not even pre. I'm just wanting to know. Do you remember what that number? Because it would have broke the state budget.
Yeah.
There would be if we did Medicaid expansion.
Yeah.
It's just not possible.
We would have gotten money all those years. Now, all at once, we're going to be paying back. So we don't have to
because
do
all that's
that.
gone.
Yeah.
That ARPA money and all that COVID, all that's gone.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it's easier to give than take away.
No kidding. So
That's the biggest problem with Medicaid is they pumped all that money into it and they added all these people to the rolls. We've taken 200,000 people off the Medicaid rolls
Yeah.
since all this stopped. But the cost that it was, all that run up in money, they paid more for stuff, and that's what the problem is. It just keeps going.
is it changing oversight? Is it building the state's economy bigger? I mean, what's the solution to this, Gene?
The solution,
Where does it stop? Is where I'm going. How do we get this? How do we corral this train?
Well, part of it, of course, you can't do anything about the nursing homes, and some of it just is going to happen. But we're doing things like creating jobs to get people off of
Yes.
Medicaid,
Right.
and we're doing
Ideally.
that at a record pace. So,
yeah, ideally that's
Yeah.
a solution.
yeah.
there's
help.
no simple solution.
And
Ain't
we're
no
tr-
bumper sticker gonna
and we're
solve
doing
this.
everything we can to cut out fraud, and that's
Yeah,
has
but-
been a large percent of it in the past.
I know you eat an apple one bite at a time. I get it, but this just feels more than just an apple to me. I mean, this is ridiculous.
Well, I mean,
this has got to stop.
we gave them what $160 million. We increased it by $160 million. They was wanting 380, and they immediately said that's not enough. We're gonna have more.
Yeah.
So and like we said before on here, if we don't fund it, then the governor has no choice by state law. He has to cut,
Right.
and he cuts across the board.
Right.
If he cuts 5%, he's cutting 5% off hospitals. He's cutting 5% off doctors. He's cutting 5% off nursing homes. 5%. Period. So that's a simple reality.
And the last thing Gene and I want to hear is you're kicking my mother out of a nursing home.
Right. And we don't want that, obviously. That's not what needs to happen here.
No, we want to help get mother into the nursing home.
Correct.
Yeah.
So there's no simple answer, but we've got to do something. Somewhere, somehow, we've got to figure out something because we cannot afford just to keep driving that train up the road.
And we need federal help to figure this out, obviously.
The states will figure it out a long time before the federal government will.
Well, I mean, they fund so much of it is the reason why I'm asking, don't
Yeah,
we?
well, they're causing the problem. They're driving the train. Whether it's cutting or increasing, either way, they're driving the train. They're the ones that's causing the problems. But the more the federal government does, the more they mess it up. I've been watching the federal government for a long time. My granddaddy used to talk about how bad they were when I was a little kid. And they ain't got no better.
That was just yesterday.
They ain't got no better.
That was just
Well,
yesterday, Gene.
things have changed though during the time I've been in there because we actually had a Democratic governor one time that was paying rewards to people that would help sign up people for Medicaid because he was saying for every $25 we get $75. So we need as much as we can do. And that was the Democrats.
Mm-hmm.
The Republicans said, no, we don't want to pay the $25
I guess
if we don't have to.
I guess where I'm going with this is just as you just described. So the federal government is driving the train. The states,
Oh, yeah.
The states, along in my assessment, the states along with our federal delegation, we need to get together and start figuring out how to stop that at the federal level
That's right.
so that we can address it at the state level so that it'll no longer be a runaway train. I mean, that is such a huge bite of our state's apple budget. I mean, that's massive.
Yeah.
You can't really do anything else because you're spending $1.17 billion on Medicaid, keeping grandma in the, in the nursing home
Or in the hospital.
or in the hospital. I mean, that's just
Or in
just
rehab. Or
astronomical. All right. Funded every agency. We're not going to fuss about it this year. We're not going to have the governor have to just call us back in session over the budget. All that's done, right?
All that's done.
All that's done.
Unless he vetoes it.
Unless he vetoes it, which he's probably not going to do.
which,
He could.
which some really good special projects this year happened for Rankin County and for Pearl. Not just Pearl, but
Right.
all of Rankin.
That was next on my list. Let's talk about the $10 million that Rankin County got. I mean,
Well, that
was
specifically
extra.
what it's for.
So it's for the bridge over on Highway 18 over the railroad tracks, and it's it's not just we keep saying Rankin County, but it's Rankin County and Brandon.
Sure.
Of course, Brandon says that wasn't on there, but
Come on, Butch.
But the reality of it is that bridge doesn't just that bridge doesn't just help Brandon and Rankin County. It helps Pearl.
Sure.
It helps especially the people that live down Highway
live
18 and
down-
Puckett
right,
and Raleigh
right.
and
Yeah, it's
all
on-
those places
Yeah.
down through there.
Yeah, Crosscase Drive extension, becomes Highway 18, and it goes down by Brown Bottling Company, and there's a lot of land for development down there. The county owns a lot of land down there, as a matter of fact, for development. It's ready, site ready, except some businesses are saying no, because our trucks can't get in there.
Yeah, because of the train.
Because of the railroad track there by Bob Boyd Honda, I think it is, right
Yep.
there. You know the area I'm talking about. That's going to make a big difference in development and creating new jobs and safety. So, and I guess safety should come first. But it bottlenecks into there, and it's going to make a big difference. $10 million is only a touch of what it costs. There's a lot of federal money. I hope the railroads even contribute some, as they did our bridge.
As they did our bridge.
They didn't do a lot, but they did some. Yeah.
Well,
'Cause it helps them
there's
too.
some coming from the passenger train service that's going to go from Dallas to Alabama or wherever it is. It's going.
Right.
Yeah.
And so, because that's one of the places that's designated that they have to have a bridge before they run passenger trains through there.
It's a very well needed project.
So the with the railroads involved, if they're on board, it'll happen.
Oh yeah.
No, it's
So-
going. This is going. The
yeah.
federal money's there. All we needed was the $10 million matching money from the state,
And it's gonna move
this,
forward.
This thing's going forward now.
Yeah. It's going to happen.
You have any idea when?
Yeah, it's going to start pretty soon. I mean, it's the only thing holding it was the $10 million.
Well, that was it. And
Probably a year of construction.
right, of course. I mean, they moved that one fairly quickly once they got started. I mean, that
Yeah,
went.
that was the hard part.
And in case
And-
people don't remember this, that was the largest ever individual bridge lift ever done in the country. Was right here in Pearl, Mississippi.
It's very
One
nice.
lift,
Very
One
nice.
span.
one span, largest one in the country.
Yeah. Very
right,
nice.
Right here in Pearl, Mississippi.
Very nice. Very
I know,
nice.
right? So are we going to have anything similar to that over in Brandon?
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah.
Well, the difference is this was a rail yard and that's not. So
That's not right. And we were spanning so much more rail.
Well, and
right.
here, hopefully they won't do it there, but the railroad had to have an inspector there at all times.
they're going to do
make
that.
Oh yeah, right.
sure. And because of that, if the inspector left,
They had to stop work.
yep.
Yeah, I know.
And so
I remember all
it
that.
took a little longer
Well,
than we wanted.
That's a big deal out there. That's going to benefit everybody.
Yeah, oh,
It
it
will.
is.
It
That,
absolutely will.
that will benefit, especially that, but people that live there, that work there. It'll generate jobs, economic boom out there, and all that property.
Oh, absolutely.
Absolutely,
That's
that's
taxpayer money at work there.
yes, it's a good investment.
Yeah,
That's a great investment by the state.
I think so.
All right,
And here's the difference between, when you talk about the difference between what the feds is providing and what the state's providing. So we did $10 million for that bridge to go forward, but we spent $155 million Lakeland Drive, Highway 25 from where does it go from Castle Woods
Grants Ferry.
to
Grants Ferry
471,
471.
and then it's 155 million for that project, and then for the widening of a project up by Gluckstadt on 55 North, and that was about the 155 million is about half of what they needed to get it done. So,
But they can't do it in 1 year anyway. So we can do half this year and half next year and have the whole project.
That's very beneficial as well.
Yeah.
And that's going to be.
Well, again, traffic just stops.
That'll
there.
affect that'll affect the Tri-County area.
yeah,
Yeah,
I think it's more important for us to go ahead and just spend the money and fix one in Rankin County, and then next year we'll fix Madison County.
Yeah.
I'm with Gene.
I'm not sure my friend Walter Michelle.
Yeah, right. I'm with Gene on that one. All right, so there's a couple other the lighting project. Funded.
We funded. We funded that.
Did,
They'll run lights from
reinforcement.
Airport Road to Brandon city limits.
Yeah, we did reauthorize $1.5 million, plus we did another what?
350.
350. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
So
really good.
it makes Pearl look like a city instead of a town.
Instead of a town, and you do notice there's a lot of difference at nighttime when you drive 80.
Absolutely.
And you see the street lights at night. You know, even though I really enjoy the fact of being able to walk around on Highway 80 at 10 o'clock at night and not get hit by traffic because there's crickets out there. But it's great. It's wonderful because that just means our public safety is doing what
And
they're
people
supposed
won't
to
be
do.
turning off the highway and going into
and
a
going
ditch.
into ditches and things of that nature. And then, of course, there's some other projects that are happening, but that did get funded.
Yes, very happy
And
to have that.
We're very much appreciative. All right, so let's jump right into education. So the education bill, all that died, all the school choice,
All the bad stuff
all the bad
All
stuff.
the bad stuff. Well, I thought one or two good things didn't pass that should have, but that's my opinion.
Yes, there was a couple of things that we talked about on this show that did not make it.
Yeah.
That didn't pass, but there are some things that did. One that we mentioned earlier was about the community colleges. Do you want to about being able to go back to?
Yeah, if you've dropped out, well, there's a couple things. But if you dropped out and you want to go back, then you can go back to a community college for a trade, for welding, electrical, heating and air, or whatever. You can go back and it's free actually. And then let's see, what else we did? We did something else. We took some of the opioid. I know what it was. We took some of the opioid settlement money that we got, and we took part of that money, just a small part, but we took that. Anyone that has been arrested, that has gone through opioid training or not training, treatment. Thank you. Then they can go back also to a junior college. Of course, they have to be tested and that kind of stuff, but to help them get back on their feet, I think that's great.
I think it's a wonderful program.
So
Yeah, that's great, and that's just money that's given to the state by the settlement, the lawsuit settlement.
that's right.
Right, so it's not necessarily coming from the taxpayer.
That's correct.
To do that. And then you gave teachers across the board $2,000 pay raise.
We did, and then plus additional $2,000 or $4,000 for special education teachers.
And then you also included community colleges and university professors.
We did that too.
Yes,
So
you
we're-
managed to get that across the finish line.
And I knew
there,
that number,
Senator.
but I can't remember it. I've seen too many numbers.
Yeah.
I'd be afraid to
Right,
say
but they did get a raise. You managed to get that across the finish line.
we did.
That did happen. And then the judges, the circuit, chancery, and appellate all got raises this year as well.
I'm talking too much, if you want to say.
What happened?
They didn't all get the same thing.
Well, they got different amounts for
right.
different type of judges and varying things. Anyway, but I think you said it averages like 13,000.
13,000, right.
Yeah, and that seems like a lot, but they haven't had a raise in a long time. So
And that raises to be comparable to surrounding states. It's
Right.
not like we're going to have the highest paid judges
Sure.
and the lowest paid teachers.
Sure.
That's not it. That's not true.
Well, nowhere in there did I read a pay raise for Gene or Dean.
no,
Nowhere in there.
no,
No.
you won't find that one.
Why not? What is the holdup over there? I mean, y'all have not had
Honestly-
a pay raise since what, 80 what?
82.
82.
I knew it
That's
was 82 or
ridiculous.
84, yeah.
That has been 44 years.
Yeah.
You might as well not be even getting paid. I mean, basically, that's,
Well,
that's,
again,
that's ridiculous.
You get, sometimes, I'm talking about us here, you get what you pay for sometimes. but that's true in any job. I mean,
Yeah.
to have good people, you're going to have to pay them.
You do, but that's
going
true
to
in
have
your
to
job
happen.
as well, though, Senator.
Yeah.
This is ridiculous. It needs to get addressed.
Yeah.
That, you know, some type of COLA or something, because you spend so much time in the state capitol the first part of the year, and these people that are coming from Corinth and
Yeah.
DeSoto County and all. I mean, that's for you guys. It's right here. I get it. I'm talking about the guys that
That's
are
right.
coming from Gulfport or
Well,
or-
it has really gotten in the legislature to be there that you have to either be self-employed and have good employees
yes.
to run your business because it takes so much of your time, or you have to be wealthy.
Yeah.
One of the two. The
Right.
average working person can't serve in the
No.
legislature and keep their job.
There's no-
You
right.
just can't do it. You can't make a living.
But are we losing out on talent? because
No, ain't no
of that?
doubt about that.
Oh,
we
yes.
had a great senator down here from Simpson County, Chris Kaufman, that served what 2 terms.
2 terms was a really good senator and,
really-
and chairman of business and financial.
He was a great senator. He had real good head on his shoulders, knew what he was doing. But his boss come to him and said, "Look, that's enough. I'm not paying for this anymore. You got to come back to work."
Yeah, you got to make a decision.
Right.
Either the low-paid legislature or your
Right.
high-paid
And
banking job.
that's exactly what I'm saying. This has got to be addressed at some point.
I think so.
I mean, this has just gotten out of hand.
And it needs to be, whenever we do it, that it goes in effect the next term. So it won't affect those that are in there now, but for the new ones, so that anyone that runs knows what they're making.
Agreed.
Gene and I both, neither one had any idea what it paid. I had no idea how much you
I knew
made.
how
I
much it
never
didn't
asked.
Right, right. And you guys don't do it for the money, obviously, because I know the two of you, and it's like me working here at the city. I don't work at the city because it's for the money. It's not. You don't make a lot of money being a government employee.
Well,
But
you've got to want to be a public servant.
you do.
And you've got to want to help people. Or if you don't want to help people, you don't need to run for the legislature.
But not having a pay raise in the legislature after 44 years is absurd.
it's time. for
It's
it to
absurd.
happen.
That's just now getting absurd.
And like I'm saying, it needs to be for the next term, not for this term.
So I really do think you need to introduce that on both sides next year and just fix it. And then just let the fallout be the fallout, but just fix it, because it needs to be. If the federal government can continuously give themselves a raise constantly, I think it's time for the state to do so. We're not broke. The state is not broke.
You know, we actually passed in the 90s a $2,000 a year raise, and Fordyce vetoed it and said, I shouldn't tell this story, he said the reason I'm vetoing it is they knew what they were making when they ran for the position. If they want to make it effective, because it was effective immediately, if they want to make it effective the next term, then I might not, he said, veto it. The week after he vetoed it, he comes into appropriations, which I was on appropriations then, and he comes in appropriation and asks for a $20,000 pay raise effective immediately for himself.
No.
We gave it to him
Okay. it's
because
time
we
for-
thought that he needed it as well.
Sure, but it's time.
Yeah.
Y'all need to do. I mean, y'all need to do something about that. From my perspective, anyway. All right. So in the budget, from what I'm looking at, the LBO, you guys kind of just socked away $2.7 billion that you did not allocate, and y'all kind of put that aside.
Well, that's in some special funds and all. Well,
Right.
it'd be I guess we still have some Katrina money. We have probably some tobacco trust fund money, and
Y'all kind of just socked it away, and from what I could tell, from what everybody was saying, was in case you guys have to come back.
well, and I think what, 700 million of it maybe is in rainy day fund. So yeah, and
Which is a good plan. I mean, you're not spending every single dollar.
no,
You allocate it up to a
Well,
certain
we're
amount.
required to keep
Yeah.
a certain amount in rainy day fund.
And yes, and so
well.
you kept two $2 billion over that.
Yeah, I think we set aside 2% each year, and over the years it's built
And you're
up.
using that to pay down debt. So that was the next thing I was going to say. You're paying down debt. You paid off how much this year
Over 200 million.
in debt?
Yeah, I'm thinking 230 million, but that may be wrong, but about
That
that.
sounds right from what I was reading.
Yeah, so yeah, we're getting the state out of debt, paying off all the debts, and still continuing to give pay raises and tax credits as well. So,
All right,
money managers.
money managers. Let's get into PERS. Not a lot of changes over here, but some.
We went back
Some
to
good things.
went from 35 years on Tier 5. We went from 35 years back to 30 across the board. I know emergency responders wanted 25. We did what we can afford, so
Sure.
that was the that
We'll
was the
still
line.
look at 25, but 30 now instead of 35 on the new retirement system.
Right on Tier 5.
And,
And,
the 30 days instead of 90 days.
Yeah,
Yes, that's a big deal.
and then from 8 years to 4 years to
Yeah. And then 80 up to 80% of their salary if they come back.
they can
It's
they
been
can
50%.
retire, draw their retirement, full retirement, wait 30 days, and come back to work at whatever job they want to do, and make 80%.
Now, the state agency that hires them back at 80% has got to pay in the full retirement to the retirement board, even though those people, I mean, they're drawing retirement and getting paid up to 80%. It's not necessarily 80%, up to
But
80%.
up to, that's the max.
Yeah.
Right.
And they don't have to go back to the same job. If they were on the retirement system, they work for MDOT, they could go to work for DEQ or MDA or whatever.
But the objective is to, like, especially with the engineers and folks like that,
That's the purpose.
teachers,
Right.
you know, that have experience doing what we want them back.
Sure.
You know, a teacher retiring and
And
then
some
they have to go to a private school or something like that, where they can come straight back to where they were.
And some of it, I would think, is to get them back for a year, if we can at least a year to help train someone for that position.
That's where I was just fixing that. Mainly, this is to help train, buy you some
And,
time to
yeah.
bring in their replacement. Is
Yeah, if
really
we can talk them into coming back 1 year and training someone, because maybe they haven't found the right person for that position, and then after he leaves, they can still look. After he retires, he can come back and still look, and they hire someone, and he can help train them. He or she can help train them.
And I know, like here at the city, we do have several employees,
Yeah.
you know, that retired, that did come back. Now they're doing the 50%, but I guess that changes for them now.
Up to 80.
So the city could renegotiate that up to 80%.
And they did have to sit out 90 days at one time. Now they only have to sit out 30 days before they can come back to work. And that's a federal government requirement.
Elected officials are not affected, are they?
That's correct.
You can't be an elected legislator and draw retirement. You cannot do it.
Right. So if you retired as a teacher and ran for office,
The
you would not
executive
be-
branch can't, I mean, the executive branch can, but the legislative branch cannot.
Right.
The mayor could actually retire and come back part-time. He's executive branch,
Correct.
but an alderman cannot and draw his retirement.
Why?
That's state law. That's
I know.
existing state law.
Why?
We could change this. Well, a lot of it has to do with government guidelines,
Okay.
federal
But
government.
it's federal guidelines, and that makes that state law. But I don't know.
I'm just asking.
I mean, we
I'm
had-
spitballing this question because we didn't rehearse it or anything. I'm spitballing it.
Oh, sure.
Why? I mean,
Well-
why?
We can't give you an answer.
I can't tell you
Because
that.
it's,
I
'cause it's
don't know.
always the way we've done it.
No, it's not.
No.
It's the state law.
Right.
That's what the
No,
law
I
says.
get
State
it,
law,
but-
but I think the state law is based on government guidelines. They actually had 3 or 4 retired teachers, I think, 1 year that got elected to the legislature, and they had to resign because their
Well,
retirement was more than.
we had a retired superintendent from DeSoto County that spent 4 years at the House, but he said, "I got elected to do the job. I'm gonna stay here and just not."
Yeah,
I just
even
won't."
though his retirement's more than his pay in the legislature. We
Here again, that
have we
brings
have
it back
one.
to we're limiting our talent pool
We
that
are.
we can choose from here again because of something in Frank's
Sure.
opinion seems to be archaic that we might consider needing to get rid of.
Well,
Just my opinion.
I know there was a Supreme Court ruling on it one time. So
well,
again,
you can write a law to fix that.
we can unless there's federal guidelines telling us we can't. We come second in line. You know.
Yeah, I got it.
Federal government rules, then the state, and then your local government.
So Cindy
city
Hyde
county.
and Michael Guest and
Yeah.
you guys. We did,
Yeah.
to me that okay.
Well,
it
we
doesn't
have a
make any sense if
we
we're
have
going
a-
to not allow.
We have a
people that-
senator right now that was the mayor of Hattiesburg, and he was a supervisor.
Sure.
And he didn't know he couldn't draw his retirement. And after he got elected to the Senate, he found out he was going to be making about half as much as he was making before. But he decided to go ahead and serve. He wants
Sure.
he wants to serve the people, so he's
But
still
that,
there.
to me, it just sounds like something we need to fix. There's got to be a better way. If we're limiting our talent
Yep.
pool, that seems like we're just hurting
If others
ourselves.
can, why can't they?
Correct. I mean, that almost feels like cutting my nose off to spite my face.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of where that feels. A couple of things that I think we should address. You guys getting a pay raise and that. All right, so let's jump into a couple other things that y'all did that were notable. Casino winnings, interception for child support.
Absolutely.
Gene.
absolutely.
Y'all
Was it
passed that?
2,000?
We passed that.
Or 2,500 or
Yes,
2,000?
if they win more than $2,500,
Yeah.
then
They, when they go to cash in, they put it in the computer, see if they owe any child support. If they do, they hold it,
They hold it.
or whatever they owe, out of their winnings.
That's a good thing. Let's also talk
I
about.
think it's great.
Let's also talk about driver's licenses and sex offenders. And let's start with the sex offenders. If you change your name as a convicted sex offender, you have to re-register. Correct?
That's correct.
that's correct.
That goes into effect. I think the governor's already signed that one.
No,
I don't know if it was on passage or effective July the 1st, but one of the two. Yeah.
I don't remember.
there was
either.
an issue with that too. I mean, there was people doing it. They'd move out of state, change their name, and
Or be in another state, change their name, move here.
and move here.
Yeah.
Right. Which is really what's concerning.
It's
Right, if
very
you're
concerning.
if you're coming from Alabama, and I'm going to pick on them, or Louisiana, if you're coming from one of those two places, and you're a registered
Pedophile
sex offender,
and-
pedophile, and you move over here to Pearl, Mississippi, and
You still
change your
gotta
name from
register.
John Doe to Jack Doe,
or
Susan.
Jane Doe.
or Jane Doe in some instances. All right, so you have to register.
Yeah.
That's a good thing. Glad y'all actually did that. And then one other thing you did was your driver's license must reflect your birth certificate sex.
That's
Correct.
correct.
So if
And
you're
that's even if you're coming from California, and your driver's license
You have to
has-
show your birth certificate.
if your driver's license, if it's questionable, you better have your birth certificate with you. And if it's not, then they're going to seize the driver's license and
Yeah, if you were born a male on your driver's license, it's going to show a male. Born a female, it's going to show female.
good. And that's the way it should be.
Well-
There's two genders, period.
Yeah.
Two.
Well, it could, if you don't do that and one of them were to have to go to prison, it could be a problem.
True.
Either way.
I mean, there's XX and XY. That's it.
Yeah.
That's what we have. There's no other gender. I can identify as a furry all I want to, but it doesn't make me one.
you look like a furry.
Thank you very much.
You call him Francis now?
Yeah, you gonna call me Francis now?
Francine,
Francine, that sounds great. I walked right into that one, didn't I? Friends, I swear. All right, so the SHIELD Act. You guys passed that as well. This requires local elected officials to verify voter citizenship in the state of Mississippi using state records and federal immigration database, and mandates ongoing voter roll audits to identify. This is a big deal all across the country.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, Donald Trump ran on this his first time about immigration. Obviously, he ran it second time.
Well, we led the nation, honestly, in having voter registration and voter ID.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's a good bill.
It's a good bill. I agree with that. And then you did also a little piggyback to that on the immigration enforcement bill. Y'all had some immigration enforcement bill.
Yeah.
Either two, you want to take that one?
What it does is it requires local law enforcement, state law enforcement, local law enforcement to assist ICE in whatever they needed done in terms of picking up illegal aliens.
Now, I believe, if I understand from our own police chief, that they're swearing in basically to allow them to enforce federal immigration law. They're going to.
Well, that's one thing. Local law enforcement I've seen for years that I mean, you have deputies that are state. They get sworn in the state bureau of narcotics officers.
We have city employees that
and,
that
and
way.
you have
Right.
I've seen local law enforcement, local police officers sworn in as deputy U.S. marshals to assist in those kind of situations. So yeah, that's a routinely deal.
Right, that's a routine deal, and this just helps with that.
And I don't think the majority of the people are against immigration by any means.
Agreed.
But I do think they want it to be legal immigration.
Yes, limited and legal.
Yes.
Or
Well,
lim-
we're
or
all
legal
from,
and
we're all
limited.
from immigrants. So
We are, but I was born here. This is the only country I've ever known.
right.
You know, my family came here back in late 1600s, way back. So I don't know where we come from.
Yeah.
That, you know, I was born here.
Right.
So yeah, I'm for legal and limited, and in some cases not at all, depending on what it is. But I do
that's
think
right.
I do think that was a good. I appreciate y'all doing that one, and then just a couple of other notable ones. Winter Storm Fern relief that did finally get done.
What?
Winter storm relief.
Oh yes.
Yeah,
yes.
from the ice storm.
From the
Yes.
ice storm.
Yeah.
There was some debate on that. There were some issues that
Was
have
it
something about a decimal place.
25 million.
Yeah,
I
but
think
that
we
did
put
get
in.
done,
Yeah.
and so the north part of the state now has some low interest bearing. I think it's 3% or something like that.
Yeah.
It's where it ended up falling. And that
Speaking of,
The primary purpose of that is the municipalities and the counties that are trying to do all this cleanup. That money comes from FEMA, but for them to be able to get the money from FEMA, they have to do the work. So this will allow them to us to give them the money to be able to go out and clean all that up, hire contractors and stuff, and get all that cleaned up.
right.
And then whenever they get the money back from the federal government, from FEMA, then they will pay the state loan off.
Right.
and speaking of storms, we also passed another bill on mitigation for fortified roofs to fortify your home to make it safer. Now that money comes from insurance companies mostly and individuals, it's not tax money. But we have a real problem, especially on the coast.
I think that's more coast specific.
Well, we made it statewide though, because you have certain areas, Yazoo County and Tupelo up in that area that have a lot of tornadoes.
You got a lot of hail in Rankin County. So
and
all
those
that-
areas will receive, if they do a fortified roof, which will give them $10,000
Wow.
toward their roof. Of course, the roof's going to be 20 probably, but if they need a new roof anyway, they get $10,000, and they can get, on the average, like a 17% decrease in their insurance premiums. Now on the
Once
coast,
you do the fortified.
once you do the fortified, and it has to go through a series, I mean, it's on a lottery basis. We don't have enough money for everyone in the state. So
Sure.
it's on a lottery basis. So, but the coast is the one that really needs it. Let me tell you, on the coast, this will scare you, but a lot of people on the coast, their homeowners insurance premium is more than their mortgage. And so, I mean, they need all the help they can get. A home that might be $10,000 premium on the coast, homeowners premium would be $800 maybe in this area. So you see the difference. So
That's a
for
massive
them,
discrepancy.
for them, then you're talking about major money. You know, you're talking a lot of money, and $10,000 for them to put in is not near about as important as it would be the people up here. So because of the insurance savings. But the mitigation program is something we've been working on a long time, and Representative Turner and Ford and Zuber on the House side, and then I was on that conference committee with Walter Michelle, Scott Delano, and myself. And that is a major, major bill. People in some areas, like I say, really need it, and if they have jobs there, but they can't afford to live there. So they're having to drive forever to get to work just because of insurance. So and not only that, it'll save lives. You know, fortification, if your roof blows off, you might go with it.
Right.
So yeah. And of course, true fortification is more than just a roof. You can do different stages of fortification. So, but it's a big deal.
That's a massive discrepancy, though, between homeowners insurance there versus here.
Right. Yeah.
And then people what they pay. I mean, that's, and I brought this up a couple of weeks ago on one of our past shows about how the coast and the recovery efforts going all the way back to Katrina, we're talking 20 years ago.
Yeah.
And how there's still plenty of area of land that has not been redeveloped. And is it primarily because of insurance? Yeah,
and in this area, other than the coast, let's say, and the middle zone, which is Hattiesburg, you get north of Hattiesburg, it's mostly standard markets. Your Travelers, State Farm, you know, standard markets, Aflac, whoever, nationwide. So the premiums are actually, they have to file for their rates each year with the commissioner. And so the commission, if they think you're getting out of line, won't approve their rate increase, and it's based on their percent of losses. But when you get down to the coast, it's non-standard markets, which is not under the jurisdiction of the commissioner. They can charge what they want. Now, you may not like that, but if you're going to live down there, you're going to buy it or go without insurance. And if you have a mortgage, you can't go without insurance.
Right.
So they're going to require it. So we're trying to make a difference.
Good.
And I think we have. And I really appreciate the House working with the Senate on that. We work together, like I say, probably, you don't hear about it, but I would say 90% of the bills the House and Senate agree on, more than 90%. You only hear about a few things that we don't agree on. You don't hear about all the great things that we do agree on.
Sure. And as evidence, we've talked about this plenty, this is the legislature is where bills go to die.
That's right.
Yeah.
And 4,006 entered, 189 passed.
Yeah.
That's a lot of dead bills.
Yeah.
And they need to go there.
And you got to realize we did those 4,000 bills in 90 days. And a bill's not a paragraph. A bill's like this thick.
I know, right?
So yeah, there's a lot of hard work goes in by the staff, the legal staff, as well as the committee assistants, and a lot of people. We have some really dedicated employees at the Capitol that work.
Agreed.
Yeah, I mean, they'll stay to midnight. And
We ain't talking about the members. We're talking about the staff.
Oh, I'm talking about staff.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
well, we got members that stay to midnight too.
Yeah,
but,
we do.
But
The staff's there year-round.
Mostly staff.
Staff's year-round.
Yeah, when we finally do something, then we can go home at the end of the day. Well, they got to sit there and put everything into the computers
Right.
and
They
record
have
it.
really long nights too.
Yes,
or
they do.
longer.
They do, and I appreciate every one of them. They're good, dedicated employees.
We're going to bring staff in this summer. to talk to
We are actually.
we need to bring some staff in.
I would love to have some staff members tell you what they do,
Let's do that.
because it's a whole different world from what
Sure.
you see with us.
And what better time than now that the session's over, we can schedule that and bring
Well,
some
we're
staff
supposed
in.
to have LBO come.
Well, you are.
So
We want them as soon
that's
as
going to be
possible.
eye-opening to a lot of people.
Yes. I'm looking forward to that
How they
conversation.
come up with the recommendations to the budget committee.
Yes.
Who makes recommendations to the appropriations.
Well, it's all done. A couple more days and then you
We
can.
hope.
I'm going fishing.
I think say, what are we doing next? What's on the agenda? You're going fishing.
I am going to do a little fishing, I hope.
You just going back to work, Gene?
I'm going back to work, then I'm going to touring. All these property tours.
Yeah, that's right.
Going from one place to another.
You'll be traversing the state again,
That's
right?
right.
And that's important, what he does and the committee, because they'll come say, we need this for our building, and he'll say, no, we went in that building, and that building,
Then they'll need to be tore down.
The parks, I mean, you've seen a lot of improvements. You guys have made a ton of investment there.
We have.
And it looks really good. I mean, it's a big thing right now. Campers, everybody's buying campers and going camping. The parks are really starting to take some
the
shape.
parks are really nice,
They are.
and we're getting a lot of compliments on that. And to be honest with you, a lot of that was our fault in the past for not giving enough money to our state parks. And finally, we had some leadership that realized that how important it is to the economy of the state and the reputation and the image that we project.
Agreed. I mean, the parks are really looking nice. Some of the rest stops on the sides of the highways and interstates are looking nice. I mean, there's been a lot of changes just in that area.
Yeah, some of these states have been looking down on Mississippi the last several years are beginning to look up at us now.
Right. Yeah. I
In
appreciate
a lot of things,
Yes.
not just parks.
Yes, education is one of them.
It is, and jobs.
And jobs. We're doing well.
We are.
Anyway, I thank you, gentlemen. Looking forward to the next year. I have pretty good confidence y'all don't come back on Wednesday. I don't see it. I mean, unless something changes, I just don't see it happening. I really don't. Do you?
I don't have a clue.
I know, right? You're just gonna go back to work. If they call you, great. If they don't, fine too. Is that
That's
basically
right.
what it boils down to?
So we're gonna bring some nice visitors in here this summer, right?
We are. We want to get LBO for sure.
Yep.
We want to bring, and of course, Department of Transportation moves this month. Their ribbon cutting is in a couple of weeks. So they actually move. We need to get Sean and his group over here, talk to them a little bit, and about how their new building's going to go.
Oh, the new building. They're moving in the
They're
new
moving.
building.
That's right.
They've just about moved.
I know,
Yeah.
right, but they're
And it is-
ribbon cutting.
It is so nice, and the fact that Sean has managed to help us finish that thing and close all these little branches all over the Jackson metro area and put it all in one,
Consolidate it down.
so that he can keep up with exactly what they're doing and how they're doing it. And
That saves money.
It takes money, and
And
it
it
takes
saves money.
someone who works hard.
Yeah,
and,
right.
and Sean's done a good job.
Looking forward to the retirement home.
Oh, the
That'd be
retirement home. Oh, well, yeah, you're a veteran. You might be there someday.
Looking forward to the retirement home over there. And then the bridge, in case y'all didn't catch the beginning of the show. There's
bridge is
there's a
nice.
lot going to happen. Just hang on, because the rest of the
You're
year
gonna
you're
have-
going to see dirt moving and
You're
things
gonna-
going on
You're
in
gonna see
Rankin County and
new,
Pearl.
new lights, new roads,
Yes.
new bridges.
All kinds of things happening.
Yeah.
Thank you guys.
Old dump trucks.
Thank you guys. Yes, an old dump truck. But we do appreciate it. Thank you very much. We'll be seeing each other throughout the summer
Sure.
as we bring in illustrious and esteemed guests, and we get to talk about their agencies.
Well, thank you for letting us have this and come here and tell people what we've done and
And
what we
make
haven't done.
So we can make everybody else jealous too, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
That's
They,
right.
That they don't have an outlet. Well, they can come on and say hi. You're allowed. Come on over.
Yeah, we gave Pearl enough money this year. You may get a new camera.
We just might get one.
We
maybe.
need to talk to the mayor about that.
Maybe we'll get one. All right, guys. I appreciate it very much.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Thank the city of Pearl.
Yep,
Thank
and thank you for
the
the-
voters.
Thank you, hard work that y'all did this year.
Well,
and
yeah.
let's get a pay raise for you guys next year, please.
Well, thank you. And by the way, not just Jake Wyndham, but all the mayors have made it really easy for us in a lot of ways. They really do a good job. We're very blessed to have the mayors and aldermen that we have in the cities, not just Pearl.
Right, not
but
just
all of
Pearl, but Flowood and Brandon and
Florence
Richland and
and Richland,
Florence and all of our
Even Puckett.
surrounding, and Puckett, that's right. All of our surrounding,
Pelahatchie, all of them.
our surrounding cities that work.
We work closely together.
Together.
We've said this before, hadn't in the last year maybe, but we meet during the session. We meet once a month with the elected officials and sit around a big table and talk about how we can help each other. What can we do? And I don't know any other county that does that. And where you have your sheriff, your mayors, your
Supervisors,
legislators,
every-
supervisors.
right.
Well, we have people, even representatives for Wicker, Cindy Hyde, and Michael Guest come as well. And I mean, they're all there, and we all talk about what we're doing and what we're trying to do for Rankin County, and what can we do to help each other. And it's worked really well.
Proof's in the pudding.
Yeah.
Just look around and see how we're doing.
Yeah, and we'll meet once a quarter when we're not in session. So it's a good thing, and it keeps us informed as well. I mean, we inform them of what we're doing, but they also inform us. It works great.
Apparently,
Yeah,
because we're doing well.
We are. I'm very proud of Rankin County, and the city of Pearl's my home, and I'm very proud of it.
Me too.
Well, if we can just figure out some way to talk him into running again.
I know, right?
We'll have to. Well, I'm not planning on it.
We'll see about that, right?
Yeah.
We still have what, another year and a half to worry about?
I do.
You know, we've got another year and a half to work on you.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but
Actually, we only have about a little over a half a year.
yeah, we have
Qualifying's in January.
Oh, is it really?
It has to be before February 1st,
Of next year.
which isn't that long off.
No, you're talking 8 months from now.
Yeah.
8-9 months. That's yeah. We can get busy working on you.
Well, I appreciate it. I love what I'm doing, but
Yes.
You
yeah.
need to keep doing it.
Keep doing it. I
Well,
agree.
we'll look at it.
Thank you guys very much. I appreciate it
Thank you.
very much. All right, y'all don't run off, because when we come back, we're going to talk about what's going on this week in Pearl. We'll be right back.
Here in Pearl, we have Trustmark Park. It seats 8,500 people. It's a great venue that we have here locally. You can catch a baseball game. We have a new team, the Mississippi Mud Monsters, so we're so excited about that. And Trustmark Park, the stadium's been fully renovated. Adjacent to that, we have Bass Pro Shop, as well as the Mississippi outlets that people can come shop and enjoy and have a great time. So it's a good place to come. It's a destination spot for our city. We did a $12 million renovation to our Parks and Rec several years ago, and what we were missing was another key area for our children to come and just be able to hang out and have fun, but also have some playground equipment that was really cutting edge. I've always thought if you can get your community together, then you can have a stronger sense of community. And I think that's what Main Street brings to the table for us. And even though we're a post-World War II city and our architectural doesn't signify a downtown, we're trying to have an area that we create that people can come together and have a sense of community.
Hi, folks. Welcome back into another edition of This Week in Pearl, where we just had a fantastic conversation with Senator Dean Kirby and Representative Gene Newman, where we just talked about what they got accomplished this year in the state legislature. $7.3 billion budget. That's insane. How large that actually is for the state of Mississippi, but literally keeping back 2.7 billion of that as projected by the LBO, keeping that in reserve. So I think that's very conservative, and they were very good with our money this year. I appreciate that, and I appreciate those gentlemen coming in. So let's talk about what's going on this week in Pearl. Well, as we're filming this week has the Mayor's Prayer Breakfast on April 17th. And special guest speaker is Dr. Stephen Vasic. He is the president of Hines Community College. He is the guest speaker this week on the 17th, starting at 8 a.m. It's a Friday morning. Get your tickets if you don't already have them. Seating is limited. So once they're gone, folks, they are gone. Pearl Day coming up the following weekend. Multi-platinum recording artist Daughtry will be here. That is going to be April 25th. The park opens at 9. It's a city park with all the things that are going on there, with the kid zones and the vendors and food and crafts and all kinds of things happening in the park. And then make your way over to Trustmark Park. Concerts, gates open at 5:30. It is a clear bag policy that will be enforced. Can't bring in outside drinks or coolers or anything like that. And bring a chair. You're going to need one because it's in the north parking lot. Warrant will open at 7, and then Daughtry will close out the night beginning at 8:45. I appreciate bringing This Week in Pearl to you each and every week. So excited to be able to do that. Looking forward to the Mayor's Prayer Breakfast and the Pearl Day festivities. And then, if you can believe it, right behind that, graduation at the high school. Oh my, where did this year go? Anyway, thank you for joining us. Really appreciate it. Stay tuned as throughout the summer we bring you special guests like Sean Tyndall from our public safety department, who will come over and visit with us and talk about his new building. And we're also going to have the Legislative Budget Office. Won't that be fun? We get to find out what goes on at the LBO. You definitely want to be here for those. Anyway, I look forward to it. Thank you very much, and y'all have a great week.